Everybody's Dr. Eric Volkowicz. We're back for another edition of Thyroid Thursday. No whiteboard today. Whiteboard crashed, so we're going to use we're just going to kind of talk through this, and then I'm going to spend probably the rest of the month covering each of these topics in greater detail. And so these are the 12 reasons I see people struggle to get well or maintain a higher level of health. So here we go. Number one, people just don't have a clear picture of what they really want from the care, or they don't have a realistic goal for what they're trying to achieve. They just say, I want to be better. Well, what does that mean? As a clinician, we need to make some sense of what that means. So if you're the person watching this, and make sure you have a clear idea or goal of what you want from the care that you're looking for. Number two, a lack of willingness to make some significant changes to your health, your diet, your lifestyle, your home environment, what your habits and behaviors are. So many times people will talk to people, hey, we need to change something. And they're like, I just want to supplement. I don't want to change my diet. I got a bad relationship and I'm not going to change that. I like to stay up late. I like to be on my phone a lot. I don't like to exercise. And they're not willing to change their habits and behaviors, their diet, their nutrition, their environment. And if you're not willing to change the things that created the health crisis you're in, how can you expect to actually heal and improve? Number three, you or your doctor is making a mistake that manipulation of lab values with drugs or a supplement is the same thing as addressing the root cause. And we see this oftentimes with people who say, hey, if in the thyroid world, like if you don't convert T4 to T3, we'll just give you T3. But really we should be asking better questions like, why isn't the body converting the T4 to T3? Wouldn't that be a better thing to address? Because we can just give somebody T3 and we can improve the value on the lab result, but it doesn't necessarily equate to well-being. We can give somebody who's got high blood pressure 1, 2, 3 different blood pressure medications to restore their blood pressure to a normal range, but that doesn't mean we've improved their health necessarily or restored wellness. We've just manipulated a value. Same thing with cholesterol. We can give somebody a statin that normalizes their cholesterol into a range that we like, but that doesn't mean we've improved their well-being. Number four, you or your doctor assumes that the reason you can't or don't have a result is just a lack of cofactors, and this kind of secret supplement they have is the solution to the problem. So in thyroid world, people talk about, well, you don't convert T4 to T3, and it's just a lack of these special cofactors I have in my special formula. And if you just take my selenium zinc mix or whatever they have in their special conversion formula, you'll get better, right? That is just a lack of cofactors. You might be deficient in some of those cofactors. If you are a slave to that bottle of supplements for the rest of your life, is that really addressing the root issue? Maybe the root issue, you're deficient in the 3 cofactors or 4 or 5 cofactors that help you make or convert thyroid hormone. Maybe the bigger issue is maybe you're deficient in a lot of other cofactors because maybe there's a gut issue or a poor dietary issue. So that was number 4. Number 5 is assuming there is one cause to why you've developed your healthcare issue. When it comes to the thyroid world, I eat gluten and that's the problem. And if I just remove gluten, that'll fix it. Or I just have some dysbiosis in my bowel, and if I do this gut protocol, that'll fix it. Most people, the cause of their healthcare issues is not one thing. It's multifaceted, and it has more to do with addressing all of the stressors on their physiology versus just one thing. Number 6 is assuming because you've done a fill in the blank protocol, a gut protocol, a detox protocol, you've fixed or addressed the problem forever. So a lot of times people say, well, I did a gut protocol and it didn't work. Well, it may have improved the function, but just because you did a gut protocol once doesn't mean your GI tract is going to stay the way you made it, right? Just because your kid cleans up their room once doesn't mean it's going to stay clean forever, right? Every day they go in that room, every day they pull things out of their drawers, and every day you need to do some maintenance to maintain the cleanliness of that room. So same thing with these protocols. You constantly got to be working on doing the things that improve physiology. And just because you did a gut protocol once, if you have a whole bunch of other stress, your GI tract can become dysfunctional again. Number 7, assuming if you address a cause, your body will immediately go back to normal. Hey, I gave up gluten. How come I haven't lost my 20, 30 pounds I'm overloaded with? Or I did this one thing and my body's not better today, right? It often takes months, years, if not decades, to develop the healthcare crisis that you show up in an office with. And so it often takes months or years to actually reverse the damage you've done over time. So it does take time. How do you know you're improving? You start to see an improvement of signs and symptoms. You see improvement of labs. You start to lose some weight. Most often, especially this time of year, what everybody's trying to do is, I just want to lose weight. Well, the weight is a byproduct of chronic health issues. It's usually not the first thing that goes. It is usually the thing that comes around later. Once symptoms are really improving, once labs are really improving, then you see the body really starting to burn off some of those excess calories. Number 8 is assuming that since you've had a lot of testing done, that you've had a real thorough evaluation and assessment of your health. And people's like, I've had so much work done. I've had every test done possible. And when I look at their labs, they've had the same tests done over and over and over again. They haven't really had a broad evaluation of their physiology. It seems like a lot. You've maybe had a lot of blood draws, but you haven't really had a broad assessment of what's going on. If your doctor's running the same, 6, 7 tests all the time, it may seem like a lot, but it's probably not that thorough of an assessment. Number 9, thinking once things start improving, you can return to the same lifestyle that created the unhealthy problems or the health problems you had. And so I had this discussion with somebody a couple weeks ago where they said, hey, I just want to get through this so I can go back to the way I lived before. Well, the way they lived before was what created the health crisis they had. And we had to have that discussion like, hey, you're not going to be able to go back to the fast food diet or the lousy diet or staying up late at night and all the stressors that were created the problem. Or guess what you're going to have? You're going to have the same problem over again. Number 10, failing to consistently do the foundational things that build health. Sometimes people come into a practice and we coach them through, hey, we got to improve your health via, we're going to change your diet, we're going to get better sleeping habits, better breathing habits, we're going to work on mindset, we're going to get you doing fitness on a regular basis. And they do those things and they feel better, and then they stop doing those things on a consistent basis and then wind up back where they were. Why do we have to continue to do these healthy foundational things? Because those are the things that build health. So if you only do them temporarily, they're probably only going to be providing a temporary benefit. Number 11, not changing your mindset about your condition or focusing on the problems versus the solution. So if you're a person who's really focused on how terrible you feel, what foods you can't eat, that you're always sick, you've got to change the mindset to one of health. You got to change your mindset to what you want to be. And when you change the mindset to what you want to be, it's not immediately going to make you feel better, but you're operating from a different physiology. When you're always worried about the problem and focused on the problem, that creates a lot more stress. When you're focused on solutions, then it changes the chemistry of the body. So you can't get better with the same mindset that you were in when you were chronically ill and chronically sick. Number 12, spending too much time researching versus doing. So a lot of people spend a ton of time researching about their problem, researching about their condition. What could it be that's causing their issue? And I give kudos. I spend way too much time digging into the science and the literature and the research. But at some point you actually have to do, right? If I spend all day learning how to build a house but never picked up a nail and a saw and a hammer, I probably never get the house built. So at some point, you got to stop researching and start doing. So these were the 12 reasons people struggle to get well, and I'll break these down in future videos. If you have any questions, put them below where you watch the video.